Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm in here this afternoon. I have studio time later this evening, so I'm coming in and I'm going to make me a quick little meal. Today is Friday. I was going to do fish, but I had the shrimp already out, so I'm going to go with the shrimp. I'm going to do some fried shrimp, which is really easy. These been washed and deveined. So how's everybody? It's Friday again. We're back into Friday again. It seems like I'm in here on Friday and then we're back Friday. Last Friday I did a more intense meal. I wanted some comfort food, so I did chicken burgers and I did cabbage and I did the mashed potatoes. So today I'm going to do the shrimp because recording time is this evening. So I'm going to get these shrimp started. They don't take very long. And I'm also going to make some homemade sweet potato fries, potato chips. So here's what I have. I have some sweet potatoes that I diced like potato chips. And they don't take long to cook. You put them in the oil, you let them crisp up. And then you use your peeler to get them potato chip, like a potato chip. They don't take very long. And then you take them out and you take them out and you put some cinnamon on the top. So let's get started with this. So here's my orange juice. Cheer to Friday. I did come on earlier today. I had something on my heart that I felt like I needed to share with somebody out there that it's just like tying a rope, tying a knot in the rope. You know, just so discouraged. And in here I have 1 egg. I'm beating that up. This is going to go where the shrimp is going to get put into. So, yeah, I came on earlier to share that because I just thought it was such a need. I have my Grey Poupon. You know I love my Grey Poupon mustard. I'm going to put a little bit of that in the egg mixture. And I'm going to coat mine with some breadcrumbs. A little squirt of that in there. I'm going to add a little bit of the Obey seasoning for the shrimp. Just a little, because you know seafood has its own sodium. Just added a little bit for flavor. Of course, my lemon pepper. I didn't know I was going to be using this so much, but I've been using it a lot lately. All of this is going into this one bowl. Where the shrimp are going to go. So I have an egg. I have the Grey Poupon. I have a little bit of the Obey. And I'm whisking this all around in this bowl. And this is going to be the batter for our shrimp. Yeah, so I have to go out later, so I said, let me make me a very quick meal. I may have to go back to the store. I was just in the store, and I forgot to get the coleslaw. I definitely need some coleslaw with this meal. I would make it by hand, but time won't allow it. I'm just going to add a little bit of garlic powder. You've never seen me use garlic. I'm going to use a little bit of this in there as well. And this is just the mix for the shrimp. I'm just beating it all together. I'm going to add the shrimp into this bowl. This is so easy. You stir the shrimp around. This is just to hold the breadcrumbs on. So when you put them into the breadcrumbs, you won't lose your batter. So you put the egg as an adherent to hold it together. So yeah, like I said, I was on here earlier because I just had a message in my heart about people feeling abandoned at this time. And we know that that's not a good feeling, you know, even for our little animals and stuff to get abandoned and people have to go into the shelters and get them and stuff out. It's just not a good feeling. So just imagine a human being feeling abandoned, you know, after they didn't empty themselves out to whoever it was that needed their help at the time. So in this bowl here, I have some breadcrumbs. And I'm going to transfer this shrimp batter into these breadcrumbs. And these shrimp cook so quick. I don't need to let them marinate because I put enough seasoning in them. So I'm taking off the excess. I'm going to take off the excess egg and I'm going to start dropping them into the breadcrumbs. I got maybe about a dozen here. And like I said, I'm definitely going to have to go back and get my coleslaw. So I'm just shaking these into this batter. I'm going to use a little skewer and just get them coated really good. So I have 4 in here so far. And see how the coating is on the shrimp and it's holding on to the shrimp? That's the breadcrumbs. Now you can use whatever kind of coating you want. They have some Zatarain's, and different people have different, you know, already pre-mixed stuff. So I'm going to put these 4 in over here in this pot that's on this burner here. I'm going to take the skewer, puncture it, drop it down into the oil. They're going to cook very quickly, so it doesn't take them long. So you want to keep an eye on them. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to add some more of my shrimp out of this portion here, and I'm going to put these in the breadcrumbs, and you're going to see how quickly these cook up. Yeah, so like I said, I came on earlier. I just was so compelled to share that with someone that just felt so abandoned, like they felt like, you know, they gave all their all and they're going through a crisis or they're going through a situation and they're wondering why at this particular time, why would everybody just kind of like abandon them, and, you know, when they really need them at this time. That's not a good feeling. We know that. So my encouragement was to them that the Lord put on my heart this morning that, you know, God will never abandon us. So even if other people abandon us, He will always. And these shrimp are cooking really quick. I have the next batch ready to go in. They don't take no time to cook. They're going to have a nice little crisp look on the back of them from the breadcrumbs. Is going to give it a nice look. And I'm going to put them on this plate with a paper towel so it can absorb the oils that it's going to make. And after I get this other batch into the oil, I'm going to show you how to do the sweet potato chips. You're going to actually make your own potato chips out of these very thin slices of sweet potato. That's all that is in there. All right, so let's see. So I have a spoon here with a hole in it. So when I go in to dish out the shrimp, I can leave the grease behind the oil. I'm going to flip them again. They don't take very long. These are going to be so good. So like I said, I forgot I was in the store and I kept thinking, I said, I need something else. And I kept forgetting exactly what I was in there for. So I was trying to remember the more important things up front, and I forgot the coleslaw. So I have to go back to the deli department. It's about 5 minutes from here to my ShopRite and get the coleslaw to make this a complete meal. So these 2 shrimps are just about done. I'm going to toss them again, and you're going to see how easy this was. So I took an egg. That's to hold the batter onto the shrimp. And you want these nice and crispy. And then I took and added some garlic powder into that egg. I added my famous gray poupon. I love the gray poupon. It just has that spicy taste to it. I added a little bit of the obey. And I added the lemon pepper. I don't need to add any salt because shrimp has its own, you know, sodium. Fish has its own sodium in it already, automatically. So these are just about to come out. I'm going to let you see how nicely they came out. As soon as I'm done preparing this meal, I'm going to have to get off of here because I have to go back to the store, number 1. And number 2, I have to get back to eat. Because my evening may go into 12 midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, depending on how long we're in there and what all has to happen once I get back into the studio this evening. All right, so I'm going to take these 2 shrimp out. And they're just nice and golden brown. And these are medium-sized shrimp. You can cook the real big colossal. This is what they look like when they come out. Look at that. Only took a few minutes. Breadcrumbs, the egg batter, and these are good to go. So I'm going to take this last one out and I'm going to put the last batter in. Because you don't want to overcook them because, like I said, you can dry out shrimp really easy. That's the fried shrimp. So I have 4 of them ready. I'm going to put the rest of these in the oil. I'm taking it around into the breadcrumbs, getting them covered really good. See the breadcrumbs? So I'm going to take you back over here. I'm going to start putting these into the pot. And I'm going to put all of these in because it's just this amount. It's a little over a dozen here, I think, over 12. And then I'm going to start the sweet potato chips from scratch. And it's really easy. Just get your peeler, start peeling away at your sweet potato, and they get thin like a potato chip. You let it go in the oil. You can't overcrowd the pan. And when you take it out, you put a little cinnamon on it, and you have. So this is the peeler, and this is the potato, and you go make real thin slices like this with it, like a potato chip. You know, depending on how many chips you want to make. So this is a fresh sweet potato. I'm not boiling it. I'm not doing nothing to it. All right, so I'm going to get these into the pan. Let me see if I can bring you a little closer for the sweet potato chips, and let these start cooking. And you have to loosely put them in, because they're going to cook so quick. And you have to get them out. These are potato chips, homemade sweet potato chips. They're cooking, look at that. You're going to take your other skewer. This is a cleaner skewer. You're just going to move them around. Move them around. The oil's good and hot. Make sure your oil's good and hot. You can use a peanut oil. You can use a grapeseed oil, because you want an oil that can hold a lot of heat. And as soon as these start curling up on the edges and browning, you have to take them out. And they'll be crunchy just like a potato chip. So the shrimps are finishing up in that one. And these are the homemade sweet potato potato chips. So I have the pink salt out. So when they come out, I can dash them a little bit with the pink salt. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. You have to have a high heat context. On the other burner, the shrimps are still cooking in the back here. I have another skewer for those. I'm going to use this skewer to flip these. And I'm telling you, this is a good meal. Now all I have to do is get my coleslaw. So I have fried shrimp, homemade sweet potato chips, and some fried shrimp, and I'm going to have some coleslaw. And that's what I'm going to eat before I go out tonight. It's still a good meal. It's not too heavy. It's still light enough where I won't be, weighed down with a whole lot on my stomach. I'm going to keep messing with these here. They're crisp enough. They're getting there. And you have all these different textures, so turn that up a little more. Get these a little bit. These are going to be potato chips when they're done. And they're made from a sweet potato. And they're expensive in the store, so if you can make them at home, why not? And I think you can take the spatula and get these out when it's time to get these out. And if you notice, I didn't overcrowd the pan. I can't take this pan up and show you that because it'll mess with the cooking of what it's supposed to be doing right now. So you might have some little pieces that get left behind that's a little more crunchier than the other chips, but that's okay. Because you're going to just take them all out. Now, I'm going to add some pink salt. I'm also going to add some cinnamon on these sweet potato potato chips. So they're crisping up, just like a potato chip. And they don't take a whole lot of time because that's the whole process of getting them real thin. Now, if you have an air fryer at home, you can start sticking them in the air fryer, and then you can just reheat them like that. And these are your potato chips. I'm going to show you what they look like in a few minutes. This is the first batch. These are potato chips, sweet potato chips made from a sweet potato. Nothing added to it. The shrimp are doing their thing, so I'm about to take this batch out because they're done. I'm going to get this spoon that has the oil. I'm going to use this one. I said I was going to use the spatula, so I have to maybe grab that. And I'm going to throw these on the opposite side of the shrimp, just to get them out the oil for right now. Sweet potato chips made from scratch. course, they're going to have a little different texture than a regular chip because, you know, you're using the whole potato. And I'm putting them on the opposite side of my shrimps here. So these are the last little bits coming out, and I'm going to add some more in there. So these are your sweet potato chips made from potatoes. And it's crunchy. Just have to let them sit out. So on top of that, you want to take a little bit of cinnamon on top of the potato chips. Sprinkle lightly, little cinnamon. That's optional, you don't have to. And then your pink salt, you can put some of that on top as well. Homemade sweet potato chips. Alright, so let's get the next batch of potato chips into the oil. Spread them out. They cook very quickly. You don't want to overcrowd the pan because you have to move them around and allow them to cook all the way through. Look, that's the potato chip. Alright, so the second batch is in. The shrimp is almost ready to come out of the oil. So with the shrimp, I've used the breadcrumbs, I've used the Grey Poupon, O'Day, a little garlic, and my lemon flavored seasoning. And then with the sweet potato fries, you take a potato pillow and you take very, very thin slices off of the potato, like so. Make sure it's thin. Take it all the way down. And this is the consistency, like a potato chip, and they cook right in the oil. Okay, so I'm going to start moving these around a little bit. I'm going to take those shrimp out very soon. And these are going to cook into potato chips as well. And these are called sweet potato chips. If you buy in the supermarket on the counter, that's like $4 a bag. And here we have them here with some cinnamon on them. This is the sweet potato chips. They're crunchy. You can hear the crunch. Okay, let's get the rest of the shrimp out. I'm going to keep the shrimp on one side. Let me move these potatoes to another plate because I don't want the two foods coming together like that. So, I'm going to throw my potato chips on this plate. And I'm going to get my shrimp out. And dinner will be done. And all I have to do is get these out. They get really dark and done. And like I said, if they don't cook too long, they have a tendency to be a little tough. And then you can put your ketchup. You can put whatever you want to put on them. Okay, so our shrimp is done. These ones I'm going to put back in because I want them done a little more. We have like a little over a dozen of shrimp here. And we have our sweet potato fries cooking on the other burner. And here's your homemade sweet potato fries from Sweet Potato. And you just take your vegetable cutter and you cut them real thin. You can put a little cinnamon on them. You can do a little honey on them, or you can just use a pink salt. Or whatever salt you use in your home. So I hope everybody has a good Friday. I hope the message that I left earlier reached those that it needed to reach. Because that's a bad feeling to feel abandoned. And I don't even know who that was addressed to, but it was for somebody who needed that because they're hanging on by a thread. And we just really never know what anyone's going through. And if God gives us something in our hearts, we can't be disobedient because it doesn't make sense to us. Because it's not, sometimes it's not for us. It's not for our benefit, it's for the person's benefit that needs to hear it. So the sweet potato chips are finishing up in this pan. When they get done, I'm going to take this batch out. I just wanted to do a little more with this shrimp here in the back. So I'm about to take them out as well. I don't want it to overcook. That was the first 4 I took out. I kind of took them out prematurely, so. Alright. I like these a little more crunchier because I'm going to add some ketchup to these. So these 4 cooked up real quick because they was already done. Sweet potato fries will be coming out real soon, the next batch. Here's our shrimp. with breadcrumbs. Here's some of our sweet potato chips that I made from scratch. You use your vegetable cutter, make them real thin slices, and this is a sweet potato. I'll put a little cinnamon on it. You can drizzle a little honey, or you can just use a salt, whatever salt, your salt of choice. And that's basically going to be my batch. So this batch is just about done. I'm about ready to take this batch of potato chips out. I'm going to gather the ones that got done faster than the other ones, because like I said, you have all these different cuts. I haven't quite figured that part out yet, how to get like an even cut with all of the potatoes. And when you buy potatoes, to be honest with you, they're not all the same shape anyway. So I need another little piece of paper towel, and I'm going to stick that in here to get these out that are ready. So I'm going to just drain them to the side, let the grease drain off into the pan. Take the ones that are already done, the sweet potato chips. These ones are real nice and brown, and the other ones are catching up. There's a couple more that's gotten done. So yeah, you can make this for Friday. It's not, you see, it's not a whole lot. It didn't take me a whole lot of time. So I'm hoping everybody have a good Friday. This is the weekend. You know, just unplug from everything, and just, you know, if you need to regroup. Don't go around explaining yourself to everybody, because everybody's not going to understand. Everybody's not going to get your message. Everybody doesn't have the same assignment. And let's just try to know that God's not going to abandon us. And everybody else pulls out, he's going to be there, honey. So you can depend on that. No matter how bad it gets, you can rely on the Lord to be there. So these are the last. I have one more batch of the sweet potato chips. This is the second batch. These are kind of like the crunchy ones that you would buy. I forget what they call them. Oh, girl, hot. One fell down here. Let me get that. I'm gonna put that in the trash. My stove is clean. I'm gonna leave it there. Hopefully it doesn't catch, you know, get on fire or anything. So this is the other batch of the sweet potato chips, crunchy. Put your oil or your cinnamon or whatever you're gonna put on them while they're nice and hot, so it can adhere to it. I'm gonna put a little more cinnamon on here. The shrimp is done, and I'm about to get off of here. So everybody have a really good Friday. So we have sweet potato chips made from scratch. You can hear the crunch. And we have some fried shrimp that I fried in some breadcrumbs. And at the beginning of the video, I said all that I put in it. So peace out. God will never abandon you. And I hope that message reached those that it needed to reach this morning. God bless. Love you with the love of Christ. Be blessed.